and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about this Beatrice the Bumblebee plushie that I just had made. So this is the original chunky finger knit Beatrice the Bumblebee that I created about 2.5 years ago. So a little bit of a background on this bee before we talk about the plushie. So my business started in 2019 when I made my first chunky finger knit blanket, and then in 2021 summer I made my first octopus, which I wasn't super confident in doing the octopus. I couldn't really quite get the pattern down, so I wasn't confident enough to release it for people to buy the Ollie the Octopus stuffy. It wasn't until November of 2021 that my sister had asked me if I could try a chunky finger knit bee. When I said yes, we went to Michael's, we picked up some yellow, black, and white yarn, and then I went ahead and tried to make the Beatrice the Bumblebee that we now call Beatrice the Bumblebee, but back then didn't have a name yet. I was able to make it on the first try, and I had surprised myself that I was able to make it on the first try. And that really built my confidence to continue going on making stuffies when I was able to make a finger knit Beatrice the Bumblebee. So fast forward to last year, so this is 2023, I had the idea to turn my stuffies, my finger knit stuffies, these ones, into actual plushies. So this is not finger knit, this is sewn with fabric. But I had the idea to turn this into this, and we'll get into the reason for that later, but I did want to talk about my new product, my new product, the Beatrice the Bumblebee plushie. So just to differentiate between the both of them, I am calling this one the finger knit stuffy, and this one is the Beatrice the Bumblebee plushie that is not finger knit. So at the beginning of this year in January, I decided to reach out to a company and see if they could turn my finger knit stuffy into this plushie. I decided to go ahead with the process, and of course I had to choose the Beatrice the Bumblebee to be my test project because Beatrice the Bumblebee was really, for me, what kickstarted all of the finger knit stuffies, even though Ollie the Octopus was the first one. The first stuffy I made, it was the bee that has been the most popular, especially my mini bee, and I just really wanted to give the bee a try. And it's also, the bee is in my logo as well. We went through a number of different yarns, but I wanted the yarn to mimic as best as possible the unique look that the chunky blanket yarn gives the bee. So you can see that, I guess, like the yarn on here just makes it look kind of bubbled and just very chunky. It has a very unique look to it, being finger knit with this chunky yarn. I am very pleased with the fabric that we chose to go with. I feel like it does a really great job of mimicking that finger knit look. We went back and forth on the different sizing for the bee. At first I was gonna do the big one like this, but then I was like, oh, maybe I want to do the mini bee. But then we went back to the big bee, and they are very similar in size. Now, of course, the color is a little bit different. This one's a little bit more orange, but I think that's okay because it also has a little bit of its own thing going on. I do love the color of this one. I do wish it was a little bit more to match this, but I am definitely okay with the color and how this one turned out. I absolutely love that this is still my Beatrice the Bumblebee. Between the fabric and of course the look, they got the look really great and spot on, and that I'm really happy with. As I showed before, we even have my logo on the bee plushie, and then on the back it says Beatrice the Bumblebee. It has what it's made out of, which is 100% polyester. A few more things about this stuffy. It has this little bendable wire in the wings, so you can just bend your wings to how you like them. I love this feature on the plushie so much, which is something that I did not realize that these plushies were going to have until I received them. So that was a very cool feature that I was surprised by. I love that you can just shape them to how you want. So one of the main reasons that I wanted to turn my finger knit stuffies into these plushies that are sewn with fabric and that I can outsource is that so that I can offer wholesale now for my stuffies. So with the finger knit stuffies, I have to make each one individually by hand. And with wholesale, it just means that you are selling a large quantity of your products and you are selling it at a cheaper price. So with my finger knit stuffies, I have to make each one individually. I think if you hear that thing, I think there are birds like in the gutters of my house. Being able to offer wholesale with my finger knit stuffies is a little bit more challenging for me to do since I'm not able to outsource my finger knit stuffies like I am able to with these plushies. I'm able to have them made for me, whereas the finger knit stuffies, I'm doing each one individually by hand, and I can't speed up that time process to make it worth it for me to do wholesale and offer it at a cheaper price. For markets, I'm already creating a ton of stuffies. I'm already at my max capacity for how much I'm able to produce in a day just by doing markets and fulfilling my regular orders. So for me, it's worth it to keep doing those markets and selling my stuffies at their regular price rather than slowing down on markets and going into wholesale and lowering the cost of my products only to make the same amount, if that makes sense. So I really wanted to get into wholesale and offer it for other local small shops in my area to carry my stuffies. So that is why I wanted to go ahead and make these plushies. So this is just the first one, and we'll see how this does, and if it does well, then I hope to do more of these plushies as well. I love them so much. My daughter loves them so much. I gave her one, of course, and she sleeps with it every night and during her nap time. Yeah, let me know in the comments if I were to do another plushie, which one of my finger knit stuffies would you like to see next turned into a plushie? Yeah, so I think that is all of the information regarding this Beatrice the Bumblebee plushie. If you have any questions, drop it down in the comments and I will answer your question there. By the time I post this video, this bee will probably already be available on my Etsy shop or on my website. So I will link those down in the description so you can purchase a Beatrice the Bumblebee plushie if you want. Thanks so much for watching.